I definitely agree. I think when you think of this tournament, you're going to think of the last 3 games. Final Four was good, and the championship game was good. Otherwise, it just wasn't that exciting of a tournament. I agree. I hope it's a one-off. You always have some years kind of like this where
Right.
it doesn't have to always be memorable, but it unfortunately makes it where you're like waiting for March Madness, and then you're like, okay, I need madness, I need chaos,
Right.
and when
Right.
it goes as chalk as it does, just you kind of walk away and you're like, okay, well, on to the Masters. So
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Sox.
travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
And I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes.
Eh.
All right.
This is gonna be a long fucking day.
Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We are on episode 90. We'll be talking about some of the NFL updates that happened this weekend, and also March Madness finale finishes up with the girls and women's and men's March Madness, and then we'll also talk about some big news that happened today with the finale of our Vent of the Week. But before I get started, let me bring on my co-host, Mr. Tim Cook. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah, we had a little bit of news in the NFL, and we had a interesting ending to the men's basketball championship.
Definitely agree. Let's get right started with that football. So, big news this weekend was Julio Jones retiring. Obviously, a stud. Comes from Alabama, has a great career in the NFL. Plays for one team for majority of it. I think when you think of Julio Jones, you think of that 2 feet down catch in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, where it was like that ball's thrown out about. Oh, Julio Jones brings it in. Great career, but what do you think about that retiring?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen he didn't play a whole heck of a lot the last couple of years, so
Yeah.
it was kind of coming to an end. I mean, you see that, but I tell you what, I remember him playing in Alabama. One hell of a receiver. He played one hell of a. He was a good receiver for Alabama, and he had a hell of a career for Atlanta.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It kind of made Matt Ryan feel a little bit better about his stats because of having Julio Jones. It's kind of like that little bit of Calvin Johnson with the Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
It's really good when you got a good wide receiver on the other side of you. But that was the big news for retirements. The other news, the Titans have canceled the workout with Sanders. So it's pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered that Cam Ward's going number 1. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all seen the writing on the wall. I think everybody liked Cam. Cam's got a hell of an arm on him. He's got a cannon for an arm. I know there's been some criticism with Shedeur as far as him tapping the ball when he's throwing the ball. He's tapping it too much. Which, if there was a funny little deal I seen, they were showing Dan Orlovsky in some of the games he played.
Yeah.
And when he was playing, and he was tapping the ball too. So that's kind of a norm. I think they're more nervous about if he's tapping it too soon, if it's a quick out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely saw it. They've compared to Aaron Rodgers has done it. Other quarterbacks have done it that have been very successful. Dan Orlovsky being the comparison, probably not the greatest thing you want on your resume,
Right.
as he's running out of the back of the end zone. But
Right.
yeah, I think what you saw in the showcase, and I call it a showcase, of Travis Hunter and Shedeur doing their thing. Obviously, Shedeur's going to be accurate, and I think for some teams, that's all they want. They don't need a quarterback that's going to try to win the game. They just need a quarterback that's not going to lose the game for them. Minnesota is a team I think of. Now, obviously, Shedeur ain't going to go to Minnesota, but when you look at like who's the best quarterback, Cam Ward is obviously the best quarterback in this draft. I think you're going to see him go off number 1 right off the bat. And then Sanders is, I think, a solid choice. I think when you look at it, but why even have him come work out if you already know who you got? And that's what the Titans did. You just don't waste your time, don't waste our time. I also think there's a little criticism coming from the dad saying, during the showcase, telling people, hey, this is what's happening, just let it happen, right? Like, just let this whole showcase thing happen. We'll see. I mean, because you're in the league next year, so you're make it or break it. Because the difference between what Bronny's going through and what you're going through, Shedeur, is your dad's not playing anymore. So
Right. And I get it as a parent that you're trying to help out your kid, but sometimes you just take a couple steps back, let your do his thing, and then where the chips may lie. I mean, I get it that him and he's trying to be for Travis Hunter too as well. It's just calm down, calm down. Just let it play out and see what happens.
Yeah, I don't mind the whole like trying to get him the best place to go. I don't mind any of that because if anyone's going to know, Dion's going to know what the league's
Yep.
like. And when you
Yep.
go to some of these, I mean, look at the last 10 years of some of these quarterbacks that go into these awful situations and just look like shit for so long. Oh, wait, and then they go somewhere else and they don't look that bad.
Right.
And I think that's what Dion's trying to, avoid as much possible. But at the same time, like, you were his coach. Now you're his dad because now he's not at Colorado anymore. And the one thing I will say, and I've been a critic of, is Colorado did not play or win that many good games. But remember, they did turn around a program that was kind of a laughing stock. So, I think when we talk about Dion's coaching, okay, we'll see how that all comes out. But now it's time to see what his boy's going to do in the league. And what I can say right now from watching that showcase, he's an accurate quarterback. Who knows what he'll be like, but he's accurate.
Right.
That takes us into some other weekend updates. If you were paying attention to hockey this weekend, Ovechkin passes Wayne Gretzky's goals, and they pretty much damn near stopped the game. The game's over. The game's over when this happens, and he celebrates with his team, celebrates with the opposing team, thanks the goalie during his celebration for giving up the goal, and then yes, it was a crazy record to break and stuff like that, but it looked like he became the president. Like it was
Right.
the way they stopped that game was just like, nope, it's over. We're done. We're gonna talk about this right now. Oh wait, they're still down a goal, and we still have a whole nother period to play.
Yeah.
What did you think about this one?
Yeah, well, both teams knew that this was going to happen.
Yep.
They were going to have a little commencement, a little celebration of this happening. So I mean, it was. I think this is a great record that I think is never going to be beaten. I don't think there's enough people, another person that could do it. The only one they said that possibly could happen would be Austin Matthews from Toronto. He could possibly break it. But I put this record up with Cal Ripken's 2,134 consecutive games. I just don't think it's going to be broken. I think it's too high of a number. I don't think some of these players play long enough. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I do think it's breakable. And the reason I say that is because, yes, the longevity that he had. Let's also not forget that Ovechkin broke his leg earlier this season.
Yeah.
It still played. Missed only a handful of games after breaking a leg. I'm telling you right now, you break my leg today, I'm out for 3 years, okay? That is crazy. But that's hockey players. They're built differently. No matter where this game goes analytically, because you got to remember, that's some of these records that we'll talk about that have changed why now you don't go after these records. But also at the same time, I do think it's something that if someone has a type of career that, I know I'm going to get ahead of my skis, but the Connor Bedard that came into the league and people were like, oh my gosh, watch out for this guy, right? I think there's going to happen. There's going to be people that come. The biggest thing is, can they play long enough to do this? And I think that's where the only reason it would never be broken is because guys just make enough money, they get out. But that's not where the NHL is today. So that's the only thing I'll say is I still think it's breakable. It could be changed within the next 10 years that, no, this will never get touched again.
Yeah, I mean, I think your key is, like you said, is do they want to play that long? Do they want to play that long, to try to break a record? You got to remember, you'd have to score 50 goals for 16 straight years.
Yeah.
The league is totally different nowadays. Back when Gretzky played, you could score. It's the league is totally different. The padding on the goalie is different.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that are a lot different. It was more of a speed skating. I mean, play. Now it's you got to grind it to get to that high. I mean, you had to play till 38. So.
Well, and Ovechkin was even the first one. They asked him in 2016, I think it was, or something like that. Do you think this goal is even touchable? You're on pace for it and stuff like that. And he was like, it'll never be broken. Not with how good the game has become. Yeah. And it's like, but the game is getting better, but the guys that are shooting the puck are also getting better. So it's not like I still think that one's reachable. And that actually gets me to a great segment. I'm going to give out some facts or get some career things. And I want to see if you think this will ever be broken or if these are untouchable, never be broken. I want to thank Yahoo for this. They actually started it. I kind of took it from them. First one coming off the bat. Pete Rose's 4,256 career hits. Does anyone ever touch that?
No, because you'd have to have at least 200 hits for 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't think that you're going to get a player that can play that long, unless there was still steroids involved. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They're not going to go back to that. 200 hits. I don't think players play that many games nowadays. Neither. They only play maybe 140, 145, 145. Let's say. I mean, that's a lot of hits in that long of a career. I don't think it will be broken.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think this is one where you don't swing for hits anymore. You swing for home runs.
No,
So you're not going for the hits.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken's 2,632 consecutive games.
No, because most players don't play that long anymore. Like I said, we go back to the 145, 150. They'd have to play over 20 years. I mean, they'd have to play a lot. And I don't think that's going to – there's too much analytics with that.
Yep, and not consecutive either. That's the other thing, too, is nobody plays consecutively.
Right.
Jerry Rice's 22,895 career receiving yards. Touchable or non-touchable?
Non-touchable. I just don't think that players are going to play that long now. Yeah. The longevity of a player playing that long and being that sustainable for that long, I can't see that happening.
The closest current player right now is DeAndre Hopkins. He is 10,000 yards away. The next one, Barry Bonds he's going to be on here twice. Barry Bonds, 762 career home runs. Is it beatable or no?
I would like to know who the closest one is, because it can't be more than 400 or 500, 400, if that. So they've got to play, and if they've got 10 years in, they got to play another 10 years and hit, 40 home runs to get to that. That would be very hard for 10 straight years, 40 home runs. That'd be hard.
I don't think this one is. I remember when Pujols was hitting his home runs and everyone was like, here we go. And it was like, dude, the dude's barely getting up there to swing the bat. And he's still like 200 away from what this was. Yeah, I don't think this one. Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl wins.
Maybe.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. Is it touchable?
I think yes. I think anybody that could come close is going to be Mahomes. I think he really would have been touching it if he would have won this year or won the Super Bowl this year. I still think he's got a shot at it. But does he want to play until he's 45? Yeah. I don't see that happening. But I'd say I can see him getting it. I can. He's got a very good organization he plays for.
Yeah, I actually say yes to this, and I'm not even going to put Patrick Mahomes as the one that does it. I'm saying that this is touchable because I think if you get a good organization just like Patrick Mahomes does, and a good coach and a good system, and everything just kind of goes the right way, you do the right things, it works out. The only reason this will not happen is because of money. And not a lot of guys like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, will give up that money to make sure that they win Super Bowls. It's one of those things where that would be Emmitt Smith's 18,335 career rushing yards. Yes or no?
I say no, because I would have said yes maybe 10 years ago, but the game has changed too much. It's too vertical. So I don't see this happening. The game has changed. They're more throwing the ball down the field. I say no.
I want to say yes because of what you saw last year with Saquon, right? Man, it could go, and the game always kind of changes, right? Now it's a passing league. Maybe it goes back to a rushing league. Maybe it kind of whatever, right? But I'm saying this right now, I don't think so, because if Derrick Henry, of a freak of nature, can't get close to this, nah. I mean, they just don't build Derrick Henry. That's a lab. Right. That's done in a lab. Yeah. So, and Emmitt Smith's not even like that guy, right? Like, he's not Derrick Henry. But he had that offensive line, and he had that team that was able to do it. LeBron's 42,000 career points and plus, since he's currently still playing, do you think that ever gets broken?
No. I just don't think players play. And we're kind of going with the same thing. I don't think players are going to play that long anymore nowadays. They can. But they've got to get the right regimen. They've got to be built different. And I think the people coming up are going to make their money and take off.
I would say this one is, I think, outside of Tom Brady's, I think is one that still is a possibility because of the one and done in college basketball.
Mm.
You can get in there at 18, 19 years old
Right.
and play. You can play 20 years if you really keep, like you said, take care of yourself. Now that's changed as well too. Players are taking care of themselves better. I think this is one that, don't get me wrong, you're going to have to be one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, to do this. But at the same time, like, you take care of your body, you can play to your 39 if you really could. 20 years. And over 20 years, you got to. I think it's possible. I think it's one of these things where, do I think I'll see it in my lifetime? Probably not. But at the same time, who knows? When you see players like this, we just got done with the March Madness, a Cooper Flagg or something like that. Do I think Cooper Flagg's going to go for 20 years? He looks pretty damn good in college basketball.
Right.
So, last one. Barry Bonds is 73 home runs in a season.
Yes, I think that can happen. Judge was really close one year. I think this could happen, but that person's got to stay healthy for the whole year. I think that still could, even though they could pitch around him. I think that could happen.
I do too, and I think it's because of the way the game where the game has gone. Like I said with the Pete Rose, it's not about hitting the ball anymore. It's about how many home runs you hit. They don't care whether you get how many doubles, singles, and triples. It's about the home runs. We want the exciting plays. I think that's what you're seeing. The launch angle now, analytics are becoming into the game of baseball. So I do see that Barry Bonds is 73. And I don't know if it beats it. I just think it's going to be one where you're going to see it consistently get, okay, this one's getting close.
Yeah, I think you could talk about in September about somebody getting close to 73. I really could.
And it could be more than you, like all the other ones, right? Where all it takes is 1 year, right? We talked about careers and longevity. That's not what this is. It's just a great year. And it's a spectacular year. It's not about longevity. A lot of these guys, I was it Josh Hamilton not too long ago for the Rangers, where he had a great season, but nobody knows what he did after, kind of thing. But yes, that was Ovechkin. We got to give him his credit, give him his roses for that. Obviously, all the gray hair that he had going on. At one point, I did laugh. When he went to take a picture, he put his arm around Wayne Gretzky's wife. Because guess what? When you get the most gold, you get the wife of the person as well. No, I'm just kidding. He put his arm around Wayne Gretzky's, and she was like, put your arm around your wife. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's how they do it. Maybe that's how they do it.
One thing I did want to comment on is after the game, he's having a beer in the locker room. My kind of guy. Kind of guy. It was like, he deserved it. He's 38. Yep. And he probably was going to play. He's not playing the next game, so he's already broke the record. So he's probably taking a couple of days off now. So.
Well, and watch them to make a run, too, because I liked the Capitals. They were kind of playing recently, just trying to get that goal. Now, obviously, they get the goal. Now it's time to win. But bands make her dance. That's his song. We move on to the March Madness finale. Women's and men's finished up. Let's talk about women's right off the bat. Final four, South Carolina beats Texas 74-57. UConn beats UCLA 85-51. Going into Sunday afternoon, UConn beats South Carolina 82-59. What do you think about this?
Total domination by UConn.
Yep.
It's like they're back. They're back. Are they back? I mean, them three with AZ Fudd, Beckers. You've got a freshman and Sarah Strong. They're tough. I'll tell you what. They South Carolina had no answer for those guys. You even seen the coach. I can't think of her name from South Carolina.
Dawn Staley.
Just trying to get their team motivated, and even started getting on the referees a little bit. I think she was looking for a technical, but she couldn't get one. Just to get the team, they were just totally dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, I definitely think this year we saw more of the guard play for the women's than the big girl in the middle, right? You've seen it recently with South Carolina. They always had that big girl in the middle that kind of dominated the whole situation. But Beckers, man. Whether you want to talk about the Caitlin Clark, I think the WNBA or the girls basketball, women's basketball is in a great position right now because of just watching some of these players play. They are good. Beckers, she could take it to the hole. She could shoot. She's a passer. We just come off the heels of Caitlin Clark. You go and watch the South Carolina. Even South Carolina, some of those girls that they had at the guard play, really good. UCLA, I mean, if they can run it back with that big girl in the middle as well,
Yeah.
I think it was good. I will say I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a competitive game because that was the semifinals. I mean, 85-51 against UCLA, 82-59. I mean, they just kind of put it on them, and they just kept their foot on the pedal.
Do you think that Gino Auriemma is Mount Rushmore
Oh, yeah.
of coaches all time, whether it be men's or women's?
I feel like you have to, yes, because in 20 years, he's won 12.
Yeah.
12 out of 20 years. Like
Yeah.
John Wooden is obviously Mount Rushmore, right? And he's got all the consecutive 12 in 20 years. Most Division I schools haven't even sniffed 12.
Yeah.
And he's won 12 in 20 years. Yeah, he's got to be on that Mount Rushmore of best coaches of all time.
Yeah, whether men's or women's.
Yep.
He's 4 ahead of Pat Summitt. That's the nearest one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dawn Staley's got 3.
Yep.
She's got a long ways to go from this guy here. I mean, he is the – and, they interviewed him at the end of the game. Total, he won everything off him and to the players. He even said, we had a scrimmage at the beginning of the year. I didn't know we'd make the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, this team was terrible. And they said they just found a way to play good. And I think the turning point for them was when they went to South Carolina and beat South Carolina in February. I think everything turned right then and there.
Well, and I will say it was really good to see when Beckers came off and gave the hug to him. And obviously the emotion that came with that. Obviously she has her up and downs when you think of UConn basketball. So for her to kind of get that icing on the cake just to win it at the end, something because he said, because Caitlin Clark never did that. But we'll move on to the men's Final Four. Florida beats Auburn 79-73, and Houston takes down the Goliath of Duke 70-67. First game, Florida beats Auburn. What did you think about that one?
I was at the local drinking hole or establishment, Toluca Lanes, Bob Modrill, and we had Auburn in our Calcutta, and we thought, we can't lose. I mean, we're they had a 9-point lead at halftime.
Yep.
And that Clayton is a stud. I mean, he is draft now. They were talking like maybe late second round. Now they're talking a lottery pick for this kid. He just made shot after shot. He threw a shot one. He was going out of bounds. He made that one for 3. And then at the end of that game, I mean, he just does this little, and that's just like, okay, they're going to go on. I mean, Auburn, I think a healthy Broom would have made a big difference. I don't know if they still would have beat him, but I think it'd been damn close.
I think you got to make free throws if you're Auburn in that game. There was a lot of missed one-on-ones. I nailed that one. Thank you for that one. Florida first. I took Auburn first half, Florida overall. That one obviously just hits perfectly. Florida was always known for that second half team. So can they do it on a Monday night and win a national championship? But before that, Houston and Duke got to play before a Monday night. Houston goes against Duke. This looked like Duke's game. They wanted to play it rough. Duke will play rough. They wanted to come down to it. But man, oh man, I don't believe, and I'm going to say it, maybe a hot take, Houston did not win this game. Duke lost this game. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think it finally caught up to them. They have not played anybody that has been as good as them since Clemson. And I think Houston's defense. On defense. And I think they shut them down and they had no answer for it. It just shows you that sometimes older players, it catches up to you, where the younger, it'll make the younger players look like they're young players. And I think at the end of that game, it made them look like they were very inexperienced against a Houston team that's very experienced and very senior-laden team.
Yeah, I think you're the hard nose definitely of Houston definitely helps them out. And I think when you think of the inbound to Cooper that gets deflected, they hit a 3 from it, and then like they couldn't even get the ball in. And then the last, I don't agree with the foul. I don't agree with the foul on Cooper on the free throw. That's a play. Like that's don't get me wrong. Like when you're boxing out, and if he goes over the top, that's over the top. But from the side, I thought that was a bad call, which then changes it. And then you come into the last second shot. Cooper, I mean, just got to get your feet underneath you. You played the whole game. Doesn't get his feet, hits the front of the rim. But I think when you look at it, this might be one of the everyone was trying to find a reason to hate Duke because Duke was likable this
Right.
March Madness.
Yeah.
Finding a
Right.
reason to hate him, and this is what I found out at the end of it. This is why I hate Duke. Like what the like when I don't want you to win, you win, and when I
Right.
want you to win, honestly you end that game on Saturday night, and you're just sitting there and you're like, are you kidding me? Are you
Right.
kidding me? Like this is how this
Yeah.
game ends? It's like you guys suck. I was so upset with that game. But I will say, Cooper Flag, it was great to know you. We'll see you in the league. Don't even give this whole maybe he'll come back. He ain't coming back. There's no reason to come back. He
No.
left
No.
it on the floor. At the same time, all those freshmen. See ya. See ya.
Yep.
We'll
Yep.
see you guys because you guys
Yep.
played. You played really well. It's just unfortunately right when it came down to time to step up, you guys thought the
showed
game was
their
going to end. Yeah.
Yeah, they showed their age. I mean, they weren't used to it.
Yeah. Well, that takes us into Monday night where Florida and Houston go at it. Florida wins this game with that last play. But before I talk about that, what do you think about this game in total?
In total, Houston should have won this game. There's no doubt in my mind. They held Clayton down for, I would say, out of the 40 minutes, 30 of it.
Yep.
And they held him, but it seemed like that coach for Florida, Golden, every time they come out of a TV timeout, they'd run a play for Clayton.
Yep.
Every stinking time. And every time he'd get a hoop and get points. It's like, why didn't you do that in the first half? I mean, that Houston defense shut him down big time until halfway through the second half. And then he came alive. That's what their MO has been all tournament long. Yeah. They were behind in 4 games this year, or four of the games in the tournament by any more, almost a double digits. I mean, they were down big time with 5 minutes to go against Texas Tech and came back and won. They always had an answer, and it was always Clayton that gave the answer for Florida.
Yep. No, I definitely agree. I think a crazy stat that I saw before the game was that every player on the Houston team ran a mile, because that's one of the things they do, and every one of them ran under a 6-minute mile.
Wow.
Crazy fast, right? The average time was like 5:20 something. It was crazy, right? But man, did they look tired when the game got to the end. Mm-hmm. And that was a thing where at the end of the game, it just seemed like, and then you get to this last play where, and I think it's Sharp, his name is, they have a chance. He hits the ball out of his leg. They go the opposite way. Now we go to free throws. And then they come to set up a play for him to hit a 3. And he shoots, he jumps up, and then he doesn't want to shoot, so he tries to dribble, and then they let it. You should just touched it. Because at least it's a travel, and you have a chance. But when you let the ball just sit there, if you don't touch it, now the clock just keeps going. And I think the coach after the game said, you got to get at least a shot up. Like, we can't have all that time to not at least get something up there. Awful ending for them. I will say, you just look tired. Florida had your number at the end, and damn, did I do well on that one as well, because I took Houston. I had to drive over the border on Monday, and I took Houston first half, hit, took Florida second to win the game, because I just knew, and I got nervous, I will be honest, because they started out and it was like, oh shit, Florida ain't. And then they started coming back, and the last 5 minutes was their game.
Yeah, I mean, but that's, that's just what they've been doing this whole tournament. It's just like, and it looked like to me, I don't know about you, but it looked like to me that then when he shot the ball, the Houston players just stood there.
Yeah.
And didn't do nothing. They didn't go for the ball or nothing. And you see 3 Florida kids going for the ball. And the kid, now as we look at it now, should he touch the ball? Yeah, because then it will stop the clock, and then they could possibly foul, and they still would have got the ball back. But I feel sorry for Kelvin Sampson. He's a hell of a coach for Houston, and they get them there every, whether it be the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, he just can't get over that hump. And his facial expression after that game said it all, like, what can I do? What can I do? I can't go out there and play. So what can I do to get these kids to? He was dumbfounded.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It was unfortunate because once the game ended, you were just like, yep, I mean, this is how it was going to finish. Like, we didn't get a buzzer beater. We didn't get any, like, that's just how this tournament. I did want to ask you, what will this tournament be remembered of?
I think just chalk. No Cinderellas. And I hope this is a one-off year. I really do. Because if it isn't, I don't know if we're going to get really – they were good games. Were they great games? No. Last night's game was a good game. I mean, from start to finish, that was a good game. I think we got good games. I don't think we got a all-timer or a great game.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a buzz. We got one buzzer beater of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
One. That's tough.
And he possibly traveled. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think when you think of this tournament, you're going to think of the last 3 games. Final Four was good, and the championship game was good. Otherwise, it just wasn't that exciting of a tournament. I agree. I hope it's a one-off. You always have some years kind of like this where it doesn't have to always be memorable, but it unfortunately makes it where you're like waiting for March Madness, and then you're like, okay, I need madness. I need chaos.
Right.
And when it goes as chalk as it does, just you kind of walk away and you're like, okay, well, on to the Masters. So other news that happened today, Mike Malone gets fired from the Denver Nuggets. What'd you think about this one?
You're firing a coach 4 games before the playoffs?
Yeah.
I mean,
and the GM.
And the GM, which I heard, I seen today, him and the GM did not get along. In fact, they did a post game, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and he told the media, you can only talk to these players for so long. He says, they're not listening. So you kind of knew the writing on the wall. You just don't see that we're 4 games before the end of the season. You're firing the coach and the GM. Well, that shows disorganized for a team that just won the championship 2 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, I think he lost the team. Obviously, I still think you let him play the rest of the year or coach the rest of the year. I don't know what any difference is going to make with a new coach coming in. You're not. I mean, you're not going to win it on a. I'd be surprised. Maybe I shouldn't say you're not, but I'd be very surprised if you're going to win anything with now an interim coach coming in for these last 4 games in the playoffs. I think this was. I have to imagine he said something or did something that was just like, this is a writing on the wall. But then the GM gets fired, and you're like, damn, that's clearing the house. Like, that's not just like the coach said something that kind of got people ruffle some feathers. But a lot of what I'm seeing is a lot of people are saying he just lost the team. The team wasn't listening anymore, and things like this. And it's like, these are grown-ass men. Like, grown-ass. This isn't like, oh, he lost the team in high school. No, these are not 15, 14, 17, 18-year-olds. These are grown-ass men. Like, come on. So I think that's a little bit of it, too, as it shouldn't be. I feel like it shouldn't have to be where a guy loses the coach or the team. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to lose the team. That's all I'm just trying to say.
Well, and also, too, his team only goes 8 deep.
Yeah.
So for him to call out players that are soft, well, you know what? It ain't Jokic.
Yeah.
It ain't Joker. It can't be him. It might have been like Jamal Murray. He might have been calling out some of the players that are right now not listening, or just calling them out. And, you can't have that. I mean, but he was a coach that is very strong-minded, and he tells it like it is. I mean, at the celebration, he was calling out the Lakers at the when they won the championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I say good riddance. I'm not too much of a basketball NBA fan to even know what, like, to look into this too deep. I just know everyone's talking about it, and it's one of these things where at the same time, I'm not even like, I don't even care about coach getting fired. It's more that it's just 4 days before a playoffs. That's what just doesn't make sense. Like, just let him finish. Like, so that's why I have to feel that there's something that was said or done or something that came up that just causes it to be like, you're done today. Like, well, that moves us on to our vent of the week. Mr. Timothy, we'll start with you. What is your vent of the week?
My vent or my issue is Ja Morant. Ja, what are you doing? This week, or was last week, he did the gun salute. Ja, you've been told by Adam Silver not to do it. Next game, what did you do? You did it. What are you doing? I've heard stories that him and his dad are in cahoots, and it's not going to listen to Adam Silver one bit. Well, guess what, buddy? They're the ones that Adam Silver is the one that's going to have you either in the league or out of the league. So stop doing what you're doing. Just play basketball, okay, man? Just play, because you're a hell of a talent. but don't do this kind of stuff, especially after you've been told, you've been warned, and now you did it again. Stop. Come on.
No,
You better-
I definitely agree. I think when you look at it, like NFL's banned it, college football's banned it, everyone's banning it. Just stop. Like it's just only going to get you in nothing but trouble. Well, that moves to my vent of the week, and this one I'm very passionate about because I'm just trying to be a fan. Blackout games. I tried to turn on the hockey of the Capitals versus the Blackhawks this weekend since Ovi's going for it, and on ESPN Plus, blackout for the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, so I move on to the Washington Capitals broadcast. Blacked out. Stop it. How do you grow the game if you do not allow a casual fan to watch this? To watch it? We're moving into the baseball season right now, right? Where the Cubs, I'm a Cubs fan. I want to watch the Cubs. Now you got to get the Marquee Network. I'm not paying for the Marquee Network, okay? The Cubs could be on ESPN and it's blacked out. Stop it. It's exclusivity. You're making it so that some fans cannot watch this game. So you know what happens when the Blackhawks, I can't watch the Blackhawks? I just turn something else on. Because now I don't want to watch hockey. I want to watch the Blackhawks. So if I want to watch the Blackhawks and I can't watch it, what happens? I move on. Now we're moving on to the Cubs. Cubs now. If I can't watch the Cubs, I'm not watching baseball, okay? So now you're making it so. Take a page from the NFL. On Sundays, you can watch the games on cable. On Monday, you can watch the game on ESPN. On Thursday, the only game that was like, okay, Amazon. Tell me you don't have an Amazon right now. Okay, in today's world, you do not have Amazon. Oh, wait, you know what the NFL does? If you want to watch more games, guess what we'll do on Sunday? We'll give you the NFL package, right? Oh, wait, we will give you the red zone. Oh, wait, you're going to tell me the MLB has those? They still black out the games. Oh, wait, NHL on ice. You want to watch all the games? They'll still black out the games. Stop making it exclusive. I'm telling you right now, as a fan that wants to get attracted more to baseball or to hockey, you are making me not want to be a fan. End of my vent. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you right now, if you want me to become a fan, stop doing the money over the fans. Boom.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, baseball's really bad about it. I mean, they give you a free package the first week of MLB games.
Yep.
And there's some games you can't watch.
Yep.
You can't. Which I really like that if they give you a free preview of it, because I can watch some different I would not normally watch. But if you want to watch the Cardinals, it's blacked out.
Yep.
It's tough and really tough now that they lost some of these regional sports networks.
Yep.
So now you've got to pay. If you want FanDuel TV, you got to do a FanDuel account.
Yep.
So let's say I want to watch the Cardinals play. Well, now I have to pay for it or get a FanDuel account.
Yeah, well, it's just the same thing with Marquee. Same thing with Marquee. It's so dumb. And God forbid I'm a Yankees fan in Chicago, or, in Illinois or Wisconsin. And then you got to pay for the Yes Network. It makes no sense. It's money over fans, and you wonder why your sports are dying. All I got to say. Like, nobody wants to become a fan of hockey if I can't watch the goddamn games. Nobody cares about baseball if I can't watch the damn games. And then you think I'm going to pay $200, $150 to go see the game? Not happening now.
Right.
Yeah, just that one just pissed me off because I was like sitting there being like, I want to watch Ovechkin and can't turn it on. But this is episode 90. We recapped the NFL. We talked about some of the updates that happened. March Madness finale. The Masters come up this week, as we'll be talking about that when we come back on Thursday. We want to thank all of our fans for listening and joining. If you guys have any comments or any posts, let us know. But we're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Come follow us. But we want to thank everyone. Have a great rest of your week. We will be back on Thursday.